Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about medical coding job seekers beware. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys. Yes, I did a pause for dramatic effect because here's the thing. Finding your first job in medical coding is a bit of a chore, to put it mildly, okay? And so sometimes people may just try anything, okay? They know they need to get their name out. And yes, finding your first job is really a lot about networking, especially in this field. But there's some things that we need to be aware of because not everybody is going to be coming to us in our best interest, okay? There's a lot of people that like to take advantage of new people because they know that they are desperate to find work, that they want to get in, and this field makes it so challenging to find your first job. And so, this is prime time for those people who want to take advantage of new people. So the very first thing that I will say is this. When it comes to applying, this is where it's all going to start, okay? We do not, as brand new coders, want to go to recruiters, period. The recruiters are not looking for you. The reason that I say this is because recruiters are paid to recruit. That is their assignment. The hospital or the healthcare organization or the doctor's office is going to say, I want this, this, and this. This is my ideal candidate. And I'm going to pay you to find this candidate. And if you don't find this candidate, you don't get paid. So the headhunter says, okay, I'm going to find this candidate. So they start looking and they're out here networking and they're out here shaking hands and meeting people and they go to conferences and things like that. I've been approached, but no, we're not playing that game, okay? I do not personally trust any recruiter because I know that what they are doing is they are trying to get a product, which is the person, and they're trying to get into the right hands, but they're going to get a commission out of that. And yes, while sometimes it works that you're making these connections that way and they get you these opportunities that are not always listed, it's not always a good thing. So because of that, I say, no, I'm not going to go down this route. This is something that if I want a job, if I'm looking for a job, I am going to go and find that job. Now, if you have watched my videos, you've heard me say, get registered with a temp agency. A temp agency is not a recruiter. These are two different things. Although it may seem the same, it is not. Recruiters are recruiting. They have a specific checklist of the wants for that facility, doctor's office, whatever. But a temp agency is about filling a seat. So as long as that temp agency knows that you are qualified, that you are competent, you are going to fill those seats as they come in, if they have a job. Because when you are working, they get paid. So the benefit of getting registered with the temp agency right out of the gate is they are incentivized to find you a job. And so that's what they are going to do, whether the job is getting into a coding position, or maybe they might have a temporary billing position, or maybe they might have a temporary prior authorizations position, whatever the case may be, they're going to try to get you in. And then that's when you start making those connections, because now you're boots on the ground. You're actually working in that place. I'm not going to entertain remote work right now. I'm not entertaining that conversation. This is about people who are serious, who want to get into this career field, and I'm trying to tell you about the things that you need to be aware of, right? Beware, okay? Because I am trying to alert you. There's a lot of people, and you see it time and time again on LinkedIn. They're talking about how they got their information taken, and now they were being ignored by the recruiter and things like that. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you are brand new, you have no experience, and even for my nurses, this applies to you all too. And you can get upset. My nurses are getting mad at me too lately because of the things I've been saying. But I'm telling you guys, I don't want you to be taken advantage of. I stand for new coders, period. So I'm always going to advocate for new people, whether they realize it or not. Because this is a public service announcement. When I'm telling you guys that if you're on LinkedIn and you get a message from a recruiter, or you try to connect with a recruiter to try to promote some kind of dialogue about getting into the career field and things like that, don't be surprised when they say, oh, well, your resume needs to be tweaked, and let me go ahead and send you on to this Fiverr website or wherever website, or for these people who redo resumes, and then we'll get you going. A recruiter is not going to care about what your resume looks like. Even if you are new, even if you are established, they're not going to care. What do they care about? What do recruiters care about? Recruiters care about filling those check boxes that client wants. And so they're not going to sit here and try to help you and say, oh no, your resume looks terrible. Why don't you go and get it updated? And oh yeah, by the way, here's somebody who can help you. And then a lot of the times, those people are not even medical coders themselves. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If you have somebody to write your resume for you that is not a medical coder, this is a bad thing, because people don't understand our career field as it is, and then you want to give your resume, you want to put the responsibility into somebody else's hands who has no clue as to what we're doing. And you can clearly see, because whenever I see a resume that I know is written by somebody who is not a medical coder, I'm like, oh, you poor thing, because this is terrible. And I'm looking at it and it's terrible. Well, I paid all this X amount of dollars for it. Doesn't matter what you paid for it if it looks terrible. So that's the thing, guys. A recruiter's not going to sit here and tell you and critique your resume to say, oh, I want to help you to find work, but you need a better resume. A lot of you do need better resumes. But a person who's offering this kind of advice is not going to sit here and try to farm you out to go and have somebody that you got to pay to go write a new resume for you. When I have given plenty of free advice on my channel where y'all can just look it up. You can Google me, Medical Coding with Blue Resume Tips, and you'll see all the videos pop up. And you can tweak your resume. This is about doing things so that we can get some attention, but we need to get attention from the right people. So if you're on LinkedIn and you think connecting with a bunch of recruiters is a good thing, don't waste your time. Even when recruiters tried to connect with me on LinkedIn, I always decline, because you have nothing that I need and I have nothing that you need. Okay? Even though I have all of these years of experience and a recruiter would love to get me, no ma'am, no sir, no thank you. Because there's too many of them that are untrustworthy. Yes, there are some good ones, but that's not always the case. And I'm not going to sit here and fool around and try to find out, because a lot of these recruiters will sit here and play in your face too. Oh, you know, this and this and this, because they're trying to sell you a resume product, or they're trying to sell you coaching, and you're not even in our industry. Please sit down. Please sit down. So that aside, okay, guys, I'm going to be very straight and blunt with you that way. Don't mess with those recruiters. And the second they tell you, oh, your resume needs to be tweaked, and this person, I know this person. No, that's somebody that's trying to sell you something. Let's do things ourselves, okay? Go and look on my videos. Go and look on my videos, and you'll see the resume tips that I give all the time. So that aside, okay, the next thing that we need to do, because a lot of times people will say, well, a lot of these jobs that are posted, like, you know, on these, you know, job seeking websites and things like that, or even on LinkedIn, they're all scams. How do I find a job? You go directly to the organization that you want to work at. They have a website, and on that website, they have a little tab, usually at the bottom, that says careers. And that'll be all the job listings that are available for that facility or that organization or that, you know, group of doctors or whatever. Please don't get into private doctors' offices. That is really not a good place for new coders to start. And the reason that I say this is because 99.999% of the time, it is either the spouse or a really good friend of the doctor that is managing the office. And 99.999% of the time, they are not certified. So here you come along with your education. Sometimes that's too much for folks. Let's not even worry about that, okay? And then again, if you're working for a private doctor's office, you are not only going to do coding. They are going to get every single work hour out of you for every dollar that they're getting out of you, okay? So they are going to make sure that if somebody calls in up at the front desk and there's nobody to man the front desk, get the coder, get the biller, get them up in the front. Oh, they're going to check patients in because we're paying them and we need somebody up in the front. No, thank you. because you are hired for a specific purpose, especially when you start to work at these hospitals. So go to the hospital website, look for their career tabs. That way you can apply directly with the organization themselves. You are cutting out the middleman. There is no recruiter. There is no place you got to go through. You are directly applying with them. So that way that it can go right to them. It can go right to the hiring people. There's no guessing. There's no wondering, is this going to be something that's a scam? Okay? Because I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm going to tell you this also, guys. I get very worked up. I've been worked up all day about this because it makes me mad. Do you know why it makes me mad? I'm not even a little bit irritated. I am full on mad. Because what happens is when people do this crap to new people, that they try to solicit all these, resume services and blah, 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 for these crap resumes that they give out. Okay, and then they're making them pay hundreds of dollars. Guess what happens? The person feels disheartened and deflated and all this other stuff, and then they end up giving up. Well, then that means the industry just lost another certified medical coder because they were willing to just give up so easily because it's so disheartening. And who do they trust? Rather than doing their research and listening to sound advice from somebody who actually does care. And I do care because, again, it's going to impact the future of our industry with the amount of coders that we have when people will be doing that. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to get this message out as much as possible. You guys can do me a huge favor and share this video, like this video, comment, so that way it can get lots of traction, because that's you also doing your part. And you don't even have to name names, okay? You don't have to say, oh, I recommend this. You don't even have to do it. Just share the video, just like the video, just comment. And you can do a simple comment if you want to, okay? But even liking it is going to help it out too. No one has to know that you liked it. No one will see that you liked it. Okay, so for those of you who like to remain anonymous, my thumbs downers, yeah, I see you. So anyway, but the thing about it is, guys, is that we need to also be using common sense, because other people out there are not going to be in our best interest. Okay, now if you have somebody that's telling you, oh, get this person and whatever, that's not what you want to do, because especially if they're a recruiter's never going to do that for you. Okay, applying directly with the healthcare organization that you want to work for, that is going to be a good thing, because guess what? There's no middleman, and it's going to be you and them directly. Okay, and if you say, well, Blue, they automatically rejected my my resume because of the ATS reader, and it was saying that I wasn't qualified. If that's really a job that you want, you print a copy of your resume and your cover letter, because yes, you do need a cover letter. That cover letter better not be a regurgitation of all the things on your resume. It needs to be a personal letter about, that this is who I am, and just a little bit of personality. Okay, you send this, and you put you mail it to that healthcare organization, because usually they have a contact name in the job listing, and if they don't, you can put attention Human Resources Department, and it'll go to the Human Resources Department, and then you can have a little note inside, this is for the hiring manager for this position. And then that it has to go mail, US mail has to go to the addressee. It has to go to whoever it is addressed to. So that's the thing, guys. You you're mailing it in. If I'm a hiring manager and I get this, I'm like, wow, this person actually went above and beyond to mail me their resume. And if you can include into your cover letter, you could say, I applied online as per the protocol, but I would like to follow it up with a paper copy, and I'm very interested because of XYZ. Not I'm a hard worker, not because I'm organized and I'm a team player. No one wants to hear that. That's all played out, guys. We need to talk about what are we bringing in transferable wise. That's what we need to do. And this cover letter is 3 paragraphs, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And a paragraph, a couple sentences, 3 sentences max. Okay, straight, sweet, and to the point. Okay, but not sounding like a form letter. Nobody wants to read a form letter. That's why a lot of these cover letters get tossed. So again, when you are paying for a resume, rewrite. You better make sure that if you're not going through me, you better make sure, because I always include a cover letter, and a cover letter is tailored to the person that I'm writing it for. Now, anybody else out there, oh no, you don't need it. You don't need it. That's a person that does not know what they're doing. Because anytime in business, the formal way, you are going to have a cover letter. And that cover letter is going to be written properly, because that's giving them an idea. This is how this person writes. If you can articulate well in writing, they're going to want to see you faster than the person who's sending out this form letter. Blue, do I have to update it every single time? The basis of your cover letter is going to be you just speaking. But yes, we do need to update the pertinent details, like what job are you applying for at this organization, that kind of thing. That's what we need to update every single time. Okay, so there's a few tweaks, yes. Same thing with your resume. The bulk of your resume is going to stay the same. It's just going to be changing just the job title or whatever. So that way, you can be out there properly sending your resume and your cover letter out. But you doing that and then you mailing it in, if it automatically rejects you, not taking no for an answer. You do not take it in person, though. Do not do that. Whatever you do not do that. Do not deliver this in person. You mail it in. Because if you take it in person, somebody can just throw it into the trash. But if it's mailed in, it's got to go to who it's addressed to. Now you have it open. They have to open it. They have to look at it. And this person just went above and beyond. This is the person that I'm going to want. This is the person who's going to get my attention, because you did something that was above and beyond, and you're doing it the proper way, because you're telling them, I went through the protocol to apply online, but I just wanted to follow up with a paper copy of my resume. That's it. So that's what we need to be aware of. If you are getting solicited for, oh, well, we have this job opening and blah, 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 it's just out of nowhere, by LinkedIn, by Facebook Messenger, whatever, and they're saying, well, we have this job and, oh, it's an HCC job or whatever. No, you need to think twice. And especially if it's somebody that's not even connected to you in any way, not connected to anybody else. They may be connected to a lot of your contacts, but are those other contacts, are they new coders as well? If they're new coders as well, then okay, then we know that this is somebody that is trying to take advantage of new people. Because there's a lot of people who end up getting taken advantage of, and there's a lot of people who don't even talk about it because they're embarrassed that they got taken advantage of. Nobody should be taken advantage of, and especially because this field is so hard to get into. But again, we don't need to make ourselves easy prey. Putting out that open to work banner, that's also a red flag, easy prey. Because this is saying that this person is, oh, we're looking for a job. Okay, well, let me go ahead and solicit. Oh, yeah, your resume looks terrible. Let's do this. Let's do that. I know that a lot of people will say, well, what do you think about that open to work banner? I don't believe that you should have that up. I don't, because I feel like that's a green flag for these scammers to say, oh, this person is really desperate to find work. I'm going to go ahead and solicit them with all these things. The worst thing to get is those solicitors. That's the worst thing. Or they'll be sending you text messages. Why? Because you posted your resume, some of you, and some of you post your resume with your home address, your phone number, your LinkedIn profile, your email address, all of this personally identifiable information. Stop it. We need to send our resume out as appropriate. We do not need to have our home address on our resume. If you have your home address on your resume, you need to take it off today. You can have your city, state, and zip code. That's perfectly fine. But keep in mind, when you're posting your phone number, that's when you get these weird WhatsApp messages and weird text messages from all these weird funky numbers that you never know. Oh, we have a job. Do you know how many times I get messages? Oh, we have a job. We have a job. Really? Really? And I'm just supposed to be like, oh my gosh, they have a job for me. I never signed up for anything, but they're messaging me. They're text messaging me. I'm going to go sign up for this job. Oh, here, take my information. Get out of here. I just can't believe that there's people out there that will try to do that to folks. And then just being so you feel already so kicked down because you're not finding your first job yet, and then you just feel so defeated that the first sign of anybody paying attention to you, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Because again, that's how people get taken advantage of. So apply directly with the organization themselves that you want to work at. Ignore these recruiters, ignore the middleman, ignore all of those. When you have experience and you have a recruiter that approaches you, that's something different. That's something different. I'm talking about my new folks. And also for my new folks, when you are a member of AHIMA, when you're a member of AAPC, and you are out there and you have your membership, you're a member, you have your membership. Do you know that AHIMA and AAPC both have job boards where they post jobs? That was how I got my work from home job when I worked for a level 1 trauma hospital. I am a member of AHIMA, and I went to their job board and I saw that, and it says they were looking for AHIMA credentials because there are some employers that will only look at certain associations, and they only want these folks to apply. And in this case, they only wanted AHIMA credentials. And so they said, if you have an AHIMA credential, please apply, and you want to work for a level 1 trauma hospital. Okay, cool. And so I got the job, but I had to go through all the testing and things like that. So that's just something that you got to be ready for. But it is this part right here where we're getting stuck and where some of you are getting taken advantage of. And I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I hate to see it. And so I'm going to be very direct with you and tell you that let's not make ourselves easy prey. These people are not worth it. Because I get solicitors all the time. And not just for, jobs. Anytime I see a recruiter try to friend me on LinkedIn, no, I just get them off of there. I don't have time for this. I do not have time for this. And then when I see these people, we can optimize your LinkedIn profile. Is that really necessary? No. Especially for those of you who don't have experience, you think optimizing your LinkedIn profile is going to help you to find a job? No. What is going to help you to find a job is actually looking at the job listings, actually looking at the places that you do want to work and applying. That's what's going to help you. Having realistic expectations of maybe I have to work in person for a little bit first before I get started working at home. It is for your benefit. A lot of you are running around out here with unrealistic expectations because you want to work at home. You want things your way. You're going to find out really fast, and it's going to be a very difficult road for you if you cannot just relax a little bit when it comes to that and say, I can work in person so that I can get my experience and I can learn to use the electronic health record, because some of you don't have that experience. Some of you do. But you've never been a coder before. And there's a huge difference between the book and the real world. So before any of you panics, it's just the way things are documented is different sometimes. Okay. And then in the book, your history, your review systems, your physical exam, and then your assessment and plan is at the bottom. In some electronic health records, the assessment and plan is at the top, and then they work their way down. So depending on how the template is set up, that's what I'm talking about, that it's going to look different. And so you have to kind of like wrap your head around things being a little bit different. For me, I have always taught that, when you're looking at an encounter, that you're going to look at the bottom first. You're going to look at the A and P. So if the A and P is at the top, that's where you're going to start. But you always start at the assessment and plan, because that's going to tell you the strength of that documentation, whether it's going to be really intense documentation, what you're looking for as far as like did the symptoms and all these things, did everything get itself sorted out so they have that final diagnosis. Is there anything else that needs to be included? And so you work from the assessment and plan and you work back, or you work from the assessment and plan and you work down, depending on where the assessment and plan is in the note. But that's just another thing. But I just want you guys to be aware that not everybody who approaches you is approaching you for a good reason, okay, when it comes to finding a job. No one should be approaching anybody that is a brand new medical coder, not even to help them, because usually when they're saying, I'm here to help you, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you something. Okay? So let's be smart about it. And if you're going to pay for a resume rewrite, whether it is through anybody that you see on LinkedIn, there's a ton of people on LinkedIn. You can put out a post. You can say, hey, does anybody have a recommendation for tutors? You can, not tutors, resume rewrites. You can ask them for those. I usually, when I'm talking about making a post, it's usually because I'm talking about tutors. So that's why I said that. I'm not talking about resumes, but now I'm talking about resumes. So you can put that out on LinkedIn. There's going to be some people that are going to give you, oh, this person did good for me. This person did that good for me, whatever. Sometimes they'll say, well, I know such and such does resumes. But if they don't know them personally or they've never had experience with it, you know what I mean? Then that's up to you. Oh, this person's really cheap. So there's a difference. You get what you pay for. You got to be careful, okay? So if you pay for a cheap resume, you better expect cheap results, okay? So that's something else that you gotta keep in mind, because somebody who's writing a resume who does quality work and who knows the craft is going to price themselves accordingly, okay? So I'm going to leave it right there. But you ideally want to pick somebody who is already in the industry so that we know what we're talking about. Because when I see some of these that are coming out of there just like, oh, this looks good. Really? Get out of here. It's just, like I said, it's upsetting because there's so many people that get taken advantage of. And there's just literally no reason for it. Unless you have somebody to tell you straightforward. And then people say, well, this person on Facebook, these Facebook medical coding groups, you don't know who is a bot, who is trying to sell a product, who has something legitimate. You don't know that. So that's why I'm telling you guys, you can do your research. You can, like I said, put out a feeler and see, but ask questions before you just go and just pay willy-nilly. I've had to correct several that people, when they come to me for a resume rewrite, they'll come to me and they say, Blue, I've had all these people to write my resume, and I'm looking at it like, oh no, we need to fix this up. And we get it fixed up. So I'm just saying, I'll never guarantee the success of my resumes, but I will say that what you get from me is a quality product because of the simple fact that I take the time to sit here and talk with you. I'm not going to just sit here and just write whatever. It is customized to you and your experience. That's just what I'm going to say there. So with that said, let's not believe these people. Let's not even engage with them when they're sitting here sending us emails. Oh, we have this opportunity, this work opportunity, this work from home opportunity. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not for somebody that doesn't have experience. Get out of here. Oh, well, your resume looks fantastic, but we know you need to tweak it up. So we're going to send you over here. And then it's $99. $99 that you could have invested better than to have somebody who's just soliciting you off the street just to say, oh, hey, try this. Because once they have your money, they have your money. It doesn't matter. And so, again, we need to be careful. And we need to not, put ourselves out there and to make ourselves easy prey. If you have that open to work banner, I would take it down personally, because that is doing nothing but making you an easy target for these scammers and thieves. Like I said, it just upsets me. I can't even speak. Can't even speak because it just upsets me. It makes me so irritated that people would do that. You're so smart, right? That this scammer, you're so smart that you target all of these people and then you rip them off. And for what? They're already looking for a job. They already don't have money to be doing all these things, and you do that to them? Disgusting. That is just disgusting. I cannot. Anyway, exercise good judgment. Apply directly with the facility, okay? You can't go wrong applying directly with the facility. Avoid the recruiters. They are not there for you, okay? Later on, yes, but right now they are not there for you. They are there to find their unicorn with whoever they're looking for that employer. That's just my advice anyway. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Best of luck to you out there. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.